Hey everyone, and welcome back to A Student of Leadership, powered by Unipro Food Service and our Leadership Development Program. I'm Robert Adams, your host, and wherever you're listening from today, your office before the rush, your commute, your warehouse break room, or maybe even a quiet corner of your home, thank you for being here. You're at the leadership table where we grow together through real stories, real habits, and real connection. Food brings people together. Leadership keeps them together. Real leaders, real growth, one table. Today we're closing this season with something simple but yet very powerful. It's about purpose, the reason we lead and why it matters more than ever. It's all about why we lead, why we show up, why we keep growing even on the days when it feels like we don't have much left. Purpose isn't a tagline, it's the quiet engine under everything, your decisions, your relationships, and your impact. When we lose it, leadership feels heavy. When we reconnect it, leadership becomes meaningful again. Now, I want to share a story that brings this to life. It comes from someone who isn't famous, and that's what I love. There's a chef named Jose Andres, founder of the World Central Kitchen. You've seen him feeding communities after hurricanes, fires, and war, not for publicity, but for humanity. But the part that moves me isn't what he does on camera. It's what he teaches his team behind the scenes. He tells them, "We don't just cook food, we cook hope." That line isn't poetic. It's purpose in action. One volunteer said that when she heard those words, something just clicked with her. She understood that her job wasn't to feed thousands. Her job was to care for one person at a time, one plate, one moment, one act of service. Now that's purpose. It's specific. It's human. It's rooted in service. And it reminds us that leadership is never about size. It's all about intention. When I look back on my own journey, from my mom's catering kitchen to the Culinary Institute of America, to restaurants, to food distribution, and now to Unipro, the one common thread wasn't a title. It was my purpose. It didn't always know the plan, but I always knew the reason. It was to help people grow, to make work feel meaningful, to create environments where leaders rise because someone believed in them, and to be part of something bigger than myself. Marshall Goldsmith says, "The greatest leaders are servants of a purpose bigger than their own success." And you know he's right. Purpose is what keeps us steady when the world gets loud. It's what keeps us humble when things go well, and it's what keeps us resilient when things get tough. Now let me ask you something simple. What's your purpose right now? Not the polished one, but the real one. What guides you when no one's watching? What do you hope your team feels after working with you? And what legacy are you building, one decision at a time? Now here's your leadership challenge for the week, and maybe for the year. I want you to write down one sentence that answers this question. Why do I lead? Not what you do, not where you work. Why you lead. One sentence. Keep it in your notes. Put it on your dashboard. Share it with someone you trust. Because when your purpose is clear, your leadership becomes powerful. And when your purpose is felt, your team becomes unstoppable. If someone came to mind during this episode, I want you to invite them right now to the leadership table. Share this message and say, "This is the kind of leadership we're building here." Food gave us roots. Leadership gave us purpose. Real leaders, real growth, one table. Now, before we wrap for today's episode, I want to invite you to stay connected beyond this micro podcast, because leadership isn't something you learn once. It's something you practice every day. So every Monday morning, I send out the leadership table on Beehive. It's where we start the week with practical insights and simple habits that help you lead with clarity and confidence. On Wednesdays, as we hit the middle of the week, we meet again for the Breaking Bread newsletter, a student of leadership on LinkedIn. That's where we build community, share stories, and talk about leadership the same way we talk about food, as something that brings people together. And then every week we finish out on Friday with the Mindful Leader on Substack, a short reflection to help you slow down, reset, and reconnect with why you lead in the first place. Each one is different, but together they create a rhythm of learning, connecting, and reflecting. Because leadership is not a solo act, it's a shared table. I want to thank you for being part of this season. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for choosing to lead with purpose. This is Robert Adams, your micro podcast host from a student of leadership. I'll see you next time at the table. Take care, everybody.